So I'm gonna go right into it like I always do. So today I was on a big old panel. I believe it was honor yourself, honor thyself. I was on her panel, and we was bringing up Training Day, the movie Training Day, and we also was talking about the prison system. And a lot of people on had a different perspectives and everything like that. And shout out to Sagittarius 101, I believe that's her name. And Andy that was on there, and God Body that was on there. So we were just like discussing um, different things about Training Day and the prison system. Now the thing with the Training Day, I wanted to, the question I asked was, pretty much everybody listening to this right now, seen the movie Training Day, which I thought was, a pretty dope film. Like a lot of people think it was like smooth, and it won, and then Denzel Washington won an Oscar. You know what I'm saying, behind it. So definitely a good movie. But my question to them was, what makes black people want to watch movies where other black people are being killed and murdered? Right? That was an important question. What makes the black culture, want to be able to just go to the movies, go see those things over and over and over and over again? And does that type of mentality create some type of weird mental health issues within the black culture? And then, and I was just wondering, like, we got all these black filmmakers out here, and we've seen all these damn slavery movies. We've seen it from white people creating slavery movies, and we've seen black people create slavery movies, the filmmakers. But why hasn't, the black filmmakers, made any movies about Nefertiti? Made movies about, Cleopatra, the real Cleopatra, not that Elizabeth Taylor shit. Ramses II, Seti, Hannibal, Hannibal, and all that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, what stopped black people from, black filmmakers from doing that? And a lot of people were saying on the panel, it was pretty much saying that that they don't have the opportunity to do it, or because they sold their soul in Hollywood and all these different type of things. But my thing, has every black filmmaker in the history of the world sold their soul? Every single one? So you mean to tell me that there's no black filmmakers has ever thought about, hey, let's make a movie about Nefertiti? Every black person has their soul taken or sold it to white people, so they cannot make movies that shows black people as kings and queens. That is a problem to me, because I think that is not true. I think black filmmakers have that ability, but they just don't want that ability because they're suffering from some type of mental disease. They want to create movies that keep showing black people killing each other, and then turn around and blame white people for the reason why black people are killing each other. That was a crazy situation, to be able to be on that panel and to be able to, hear their comments and everything like that. And I just feel like I'm a problem solver. I'm a master problem solver, and I'm an extremist, and I'm a rebel, right? So my thing is, I look at the problem without really no emotion to it and really no bias to the situation. My only emotion to it pretty much is to solve it. I'm a Capricornist. Right, so I have that in me and shit like that, being a problem solver, and I think on an extreme level, because I think that, how do you solve this problem? What needs to be done to end the situation? And every problem has a solution. It just depends on your method, pretty much. If you're able to execute your method on a consistency type of level, in order to make a cure for that problem as well. That's the other part. Not necessarily finding a solution, but also finding the cure, so the problem does never reoccur and affect the human being or affect the society ever. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, why? Why do black people enjoy watching the murder of other black people in movies and in entertainment, even in the music? Why would a kid 17, 18, why would an adult 25, 30, why would somebody 40, 50 will put on some headphones and listen to songs talking about murdering other black people. And then they trying to make me feel like they not suffer from mental health, which if they are doing that, if you are a person right now and you are listening to music and it's talking about killing black people over and over again, that is your choice of music. You like artists, you like people that put out that type of music, then you need to be in a mental hospital. Because you have the potential of hurting another black person. Just by the music you listen to. It's in your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? So that's my theory on it. Now to push forward with it, we started talking about the prison system. And it was talking about all these different ways to be able to reform the prison system. And I just felt like, I told them and shit. I said that, they talk about the different programs and, and different things like that. And people are human beings and they shouldn't be subject to slavery type of wages in prison and all that. And I was just like, man, hold the fuck up, man. Like, I'm like really looking at like, do people know we live in America? Has people forgot? This is America, right? In America and a lot of other different cultures. What happens is this. America is a tourist country for all around the whole entire world. Almost every culture of people and every continent of people wants to get to America at some point in their life. They feel like America is like the place where they can get all their dreams accomplished, do everything that they couldn't do in their present country, they can do it in America. So America is like this huge tourist country, right? But America has laws. And a lot of American laws, especially when it deals with people in the black community and the Latino community, or in certain communities where there's a lot of crime, is that America is saying that you cannot commit a crime against another American citizen. That is what's supposed to happen in any country. It's what's supposed to happen in the neighborhood. Like I'm living in a neighborhood right now. So if there's a little kid outside, right, and he wants to go over there and beat this little girl up or whatever it may be, he should not be able to walk around in this neighborhood and do that shit. He should be checked. That shit should stop. There should be no reason why people in this neighborhood should be fighting each other or killing each other or showing any amount of disrespect to each other. This is what America is really trying to show with the laws. A lot of the laws. Not to say every law, because I know a lot of people are going to run with that. Not every single law. I'm talking about laws where we're talking about physical, like robbing somebody, killing somebody. Like in America, you're supposed to be able to come here and you're supposed to be able to work hard. You're supposed to be able to build some shit from the ground up, right? Remember, this is the land of the free and home of the brave, right? So you should be able to build some shit from the ground up, and you should be able to build it for yourself and build it for your family. So somebody else who doesn't have what you have should not be able to put a gun in your face and rob and take something from you that you built your whole entire life for. They should go to jail for a long ass time, because that's not the American way. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is, when we look at the prison system, I just look at it like you have to be able to you have to deter people from going to jail. You know what I'm saying? You cannot make prison cool to deal with. You can't be having, like my thing was, I said it like this. I'm just gonna put it out there. I said that anybody that go to prison, you commit a crime against another American like that, and they were saying shit like, there's innocent people in prison and all that shit like that. I'm like, all right, then fine. I'm gonna put the innocent people in the same situation. I feel like that every single person should be isolated in solitary confinement for at least half of their prison time, so they can sit in that cell by themselves and reflect on what the fuck they did to get there. They don't have nobody to talk to. You can't get no visits. You can't get no phone calls. You can't get no interaction with other inmates or none of that shit. You have to sit and isolate yourself in a cell by yourself and reflect on who you are and what you're trying to do with your life. Because really, the way it was taught to me is that prison is the step before you get to the cemetery. That's God sitting you down, giving you really pretty much another chance to be like, hey man, you need to figure out what the fuck your purpose is on this world before you die, before I come get you, or before the devil comes get your ass or some shit like that. Before you leave about this motherfucker, this is the time for you to be able to sit, chill, and really reflect on who you are, so you won't keep making these same mistakes affecting other people, because every time somebody goes to jail, the ones who's supposed to be in jail, pretty much, they are creating victims out there. They are victimizing other people. So you shouldn't be out here with freedom to be able to victimize other people. You should be locked up for that shit, because you have mental health issues, mental mind issues and shit like that. You cannot be amongst other people in this world who's trying to be able to have better in their life. You should be locked up. I don't understand why people don't think they should be locked up. And the prison system should be so terrible and so bad that it should not make you ever want to be able to go to prison. And see, that's the problem, especially in the black culture, is that when people go to prison, black people go to prison, they got all these visits, they got money sent to them for canteen. It's like they're on like a mini vacation. And what it does to that mindset, to me, in theory, is that they get out of jail and they figure out they can go victimize more people, because they feel like when they go back, those same people are going to look out for them again. It's like a mini vacation. It's not really having a knowledge of yourself and figuring out who you are and not to go back. That's why so many repeat offenders. Because when people out here doing crimes and shit like that, they feel like, shit, if I get caught, I can handle that. I can handle jail. You hear a lot of niggas saying that now. I don't care about going to jail. I can handle that. I can do 10 years of standing on my head. Like, for real? That's the way you think. That means that whatever prison you went to was not fucked up enough for you not to go back. And that's what needs to happen. That's the real prison reform right there. Prevention before solution. So if every prisoner knows, if not every prisoner, every criminal knows that if you go to this prison right here, you're going to be isolated from everybody. You're going to be sitting in a cell by yourself for 23 hours a day. You ain't going to get no visits. You ain't going to get no canteen, none of that shit. No canteen, none of that. You know what I mean? You don't get no soups, don't get nothing. You get the prison food 3 times a day. I guarantee you, on some real guarantee shit, I bet you the prison fucking population will go down drastically, and some of these prisons that's up right now will have to be able to close their facilities. The only reason why these prisons are like operating like that for people, be giving them all this, all this leeway and the canteens, so they can make money off of it. They want inmates to keep going in and back and forth, so they can keep making money. I'm sure that if John right here goes to jail tomorrow, and then he goes to jail again 6 months later, you know what I'm saying, like that, they're gonna double up on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just keep making money over and over again. Those people who give out the canteen and all that shit, I'm sure they making hella money. You know what I'm saying, off the prison. I'm sure when they start doing the prison labor shit, giving them 5 or 10 cents an hour, whatever, what they do, the slavery shit that they call out there, I'm sure those manufacturers making money off it too. And I just don't understand about that too, is like, if you are in the world and you're terrorizing other Americans, right, because you don't know how to get your American dream in America without violence and without killing people, without robbing somebody else and shit like that, then yeah, you should not be treated as the same as somebody who has their freedom. You should not be getting $2 or $3 a fucking hour and shit to do some work for a man. No, you should be getting slave wages. You goddamn right. That should deter your ass to be able to do something different with your life when they let you out. Prison should be so fucking bad, so bad, that black people would not want to ever be visited there. Ever. Now, I told the people on the panel this. One dude was like saying like, oh, you ain't never been to prison, you just been to jail, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool, I'll take that. I went to jail for putting hands on somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? It was a homegirl of mine that got, you know what I'm saying, raped by a dude. I knew her. We was cool, and I found the dude, and I put hands on her, and he called the police on me, and I got locked up. All right, real bad fight, really fucked him up, real bad, right? So I get a charge, and I go to jail, and then I end up seeing one of his partners up in there or whatever like that, and found out, you know how shit from the streets get to the jail and all that, and I end up beating his ass. So they sent me to solitary confinement. They didn't even tell me how long or whatever. They just sent me away. Motherfucking single room, little small ass bed, sink, all that type of shit, and I stayed in that motherfucker for 60 days. Right? 60 days straight. No phone calls, no visits, no canteen shit, none of that shit. Just me in a motherfucking cell. And what happened to me in that cell was this. I sat there and I had time to think for myself. I didn't have no dudes around me. I didn't have no other energies around me. All I had, it forced me to look at myself and ask myself questions. Like I was asking myself, like, why the fuck am I in here? Why the fuck am I even in jail? How do I get out this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? How do I never come back to here? This is not something that's cool for me. This is not something I want to be able to have within my life and shit, to be sitting in this jail cell, being around a bunch of niggas at that and shit outside of the solitary confinement where I was in. Hearing all these niggas talking about all these different war stories and what they had, bitches they had, all that shit, seeing all the fights, seeing people get cut with knives. Like, why do I want to see that? I don't want to be about that shit. I don't want that. I want more for my life than that. So I sat there in that cell for all that time in isolation, and I was thinking. They finally let me out. And when they let me out, I did not associate with nobody in that what they call it, a pod or whatever like that back then. I didn't associate with nobody there. Didn't talk to nobody. I stayed in myself, and I finished out the rest of my my time. It was like a battery, and they dropped some, charges, some of the charges, everything like that. So I pretty much had to do jail time. I didn't have to go to no prison, nothing like that. And then once I got out, I never committed another crime like that. I had no desire to commit no crimes or none of that shit. So when I say isolation, I look at my own personal experience and what it done. And then I look at how other people experiences what they done. They didn't have isolation. They didn't go to the hole and all that shit. So what happens to them? They walking around here, listen to other people talk about crimes. They get influenced to other crimes. They don't really get the time to really be in tune with themselves and see why the fuck they even there. So what they do is they accept the fact that they in there, and they try to make the best of what they did. They take it as a home. They look at it as a vacation, as a home type of situation until they get out. I looked at it totally different. I'm not looking at this motherfucker as no home. I'm not trying to be comfortable here or none of that shit. I am trying to find a way of getting out and staying out forever. Them dudes right there wasn't thinking like that. That's why they kept going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Get out, commit another crime. So the thing is, what I was trying to get people to understand on that panel was the fact of, at what point does the human being take personal responsibility for their actions? If you know the prison system is a trap for black males, why do you keep falling for the trap? You know what I'm saying? Why do you keep falling for the trap? There is so many ways in America right now to be able to make money and not to go to jail. But there's people that take those chances. There's people that get influenced by the music. There's people that get influenced by the movies and all that type of stuff. And then they take these chances and they end up getting caught. So the dude is like telling me on there, I forgot the dude's name. He's like telling me, well, L, everybody, you're the one of the lucky ones, you're special and all that type of shit. And I looked at that kind of way. I was like, it's not that I'm special. I just made a better, good decision. So I think that so what is the aim? If I have a way of you not going to prison, why are you not listening to my way? Why is people arguing with me? And my way is for you not to be incarcerated. What is the arguments that I'm getting from other black people? Because you have to be able to stop it. Like, so what I'm saying is that if it's a black kid right now out in the streets and he gets the urge to be able to rob somebody, he has to think, what happens if I get caught? That needs to flick in the brain. Like, how do I get that in their brain? How do I get them to think before they want to kill their own fucking brother? They want to kill their own sister or rape their own sister or do something bad to their own race. What do I need to be able to put in their brain to stop them from doing that shit? Because nobody has found a solution yet for that shit but me. The prison system that they go to when they get caught has to be so fucked up, so inhumane, so terrible that when they thinking in their brain, they be like, you know what? Me putting that gun to that dude's head ain't worth me going to prison. Because of that fucked up shit over there. Me raping that girl right there at that party and shit, that shit ain't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get caught, I'm gonna have to go to that motherfucking hellhole right there. I have to be able to spark something in their brain to make them stop committing a crime. And to be able to spark something in their brain to make them think within themselves to be like, hey, what is it that I know how to do good myself that I don't have to do illegal activities in America and put myself in a position to go to prison? So I'm going to be talking more about this on Bigo. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk more about this on the platforms and everything like that. And I feel like I'm going to have to be able to re-educate a lot of different people and stuff, man, on how not to be able to be in crazy situations and to be able to solve the problem. See, a lot of black people don't want you to solve the problem for them. They want to be victims and shit. They want to play the blame game. They want to be victims. They want to keep blaming the white man and blaming the system and all this type of shit. It's done. It's over for that shit, dude. You gotta outsmart these motherfuckers. Outthink these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? If you know what the trap is, how you fucking keep getting into the trap? You know what I mean? If I'm the white man, I'm setting a trap for you, and the trap ain't even that motherfucking hard. The trap is an easy trap. You know what I'm saying? If I'm setting a trap for you, how you keep falling into the trap? You got mental problems. And maybe you need to evaluate yourself before you start doing crazy ass shit, before you start victimizing your own people. Because a lot of black people don't even think black on black crime exists when there's so many black people murdering other black people. They always say like, oh, when you mention black on black crime, before I go out of here, I want to say this. When you mention black on black crime, they quick to say like, oh, they kill people over there in their culture. Who gives a fuck about that shit? That's like my granny, right? That's like my granny when I'm young. You know what I'm saying? My granny say, or just like your relatives or whatever, your grandma, let's just say put it in your position. Like your grandma, you know what I'm saying, you jumping on the couch and shit. And your grandma be like, hey, stop jumping on the couch. We don't do that here, or whatever it may be. And then you say out your mouth, well, they do it over a little Tommy house in that white neighborhood. What you think your black grandma gonna do to your ass? What you think your Spanish grandma gonna do to you? You think she gonna give a fuck what they do in another household? She telling your ass we don't do this here. So you shouldn't be worrying about what somebody else's household is doing. You should be worrying about what your household is doing. And if your grandma tell you it's not cool to jump on that couch, you don't need to be jumping on that couch. And if you mention somebody else doing it in their house or whatever, certain grandmas will smack the shit out your ass back in the day.